Hello everyone, how's it going? So we're talking about Dragon Age the Veilguard, and apparently it's rumored to have sold less than Star Wars Outlaws. Now, Star Wars Outlaws was a failure. It only sold about 1 million copies, which you may think is good, but for a Star Wars IP, that is actually very abysmal. Right now, Ubisoft is very much in a dark place. They delayed Assassin's Creed Shadows, and let's just say their games have not been selling well. Like, they released Skull and Bones, Prince of Persia, and Star Wars Outlaws, and they were going to release Assassin's Creed Shadows like around this time, and it's still like they're on free fall right now, and it's really dire. So, according to this, a new rumor claims that Dragon Age the Veilguard has sold less copies than Star Wars Outlaws. YouTuber Adiniman revealed that a source shared with him that the game has sold only about 500,000 copies, which is just about half of what is rumored regarding Star Wars Outlaws. Now, this is a grain of salt, but we'll go on before we talk a little more about this. Seems that we have a direct quote. He said that from my same source that I shared previous Dragon Age pre-order numbers with, which was in my video a few days back. Apparently, according to them, pre-orders for Veilguard were even less than initially thought. I thought in the last video they were roughly 115,000 total pre-orders across all platforms. That is really bad. That's digital and physical, by the way. A new info that my source has told me that the numbers actually have been too high, that the number that they are hearing from people at EA now is that actually 70 to 75,000 pre-orders in total before release, which is, not good at all. It's not. In total, what I'm told is that Veilguard may have sold overall so far in the 500,000 range, which may sound good to some, but is completely abysmal for a game of this level. Now, that would be absolutely horrible for a game like this. Dragon Age is one of BioWare's marquee franchise, right up there with Mass Effect. It's one of the games that made BioWare what it is today and made their reputation. So, if this is true, that is absolutely horrible for one of their flagship franchises, right up there with Mass Effect. So, the reason why I think this rumor may be true is because whenever a game is released and within the first week, that's where your first collection of sales come, it is problematic when the Twitter account or whatever social media platform you're looking at, they don't release like, hey, there is a big sales milestone that meet, which is 1 million sales usually. We saw this recently with Silent Hill 2 Remake. They do this for a lot of games. They say 1 million copies shipped, 1 million copies sold. They do this in order to incentivize people who are on the fence, so they'll purchase the game. They'll be like, oh, 100 people have bought this game. Oh, we have a 98% positivity rating on Steam. These are what gamers are saying about their game. Or, of course, with Dragon Age the Veilguard, graphics showing all the high point reviews, which I read all these reviews, and I've only played about half of Dragon Age the Veilguard, and I can tell you right now, the game is one of the most milquetoast experience I've played in a Dragon Age experience. Like, I 100%ed Origins, Awaken, and Dragon Age 2. I did an Inquisition. I'm not sure why. I forgot why. Maybe I just stopped playing. I did like Inquisition. I replayed all the Dragon Age games before playing the Veilguard. And I can say 100% within, I'd say I'm 50% of the way in the game. I'm not really sure. I'm like on chapter 10 or something. It is nowhere even close to how dark, violent, and brutal that every other Dragon Age game has been. In fact, the opening scene, regardless of whatever origin story you pick in Dragon Age Origins, is far more violent than anything that I've experienced in Dragon Age the Veilguard. Like, literally, this is a game made by, and I think Skill Up said it best, HR was in the room and basically censored or rewrote everything that could be considered problematic. Nothing about this game is really dark in any conceivable way. Like, if I were to give the best comparison, I would say every other Dragon Age game before the Veilguard are rated R, and Dragon Age the Veilguard is PG-13, and I'm being generous there. I would say it's PG-10, or, PG-10. Like, the game is not dark at all. Like, there are some things I do like about it, but like how they showcase the blight in the game, I do like that. They show it like corruption webs and stuff like that. I do like that, but other than that, like, I haven't seen anything that really grips me in this game, and compared to Origins or even Dragon Age 2, which I have a far more appreciation for after replaying the game. Yeah, it had its issues, but damn, that game's story was really, really good. But regardless, you can also see this with the numbers. Like, it had an all-time peak of 89,000 players. And I know a lot of people in mainstream media, I'm technically even part of that in a way, have stated, like, this is the most successful BioWare single-player game of all time, or EA. Like, they didn't even say EA, they just said BioWare. And you have to consider the fact that no other BioWare game has released on Steam on day one. This is the first game, so obviously it's going to do very well. Like, even with Mass Effect Legendary Edition, you need an EA account to access that game on Steam. So those articles were completely misleading. Even I just looked at it, I was like, you guys are lying to everyone's faces. This is not true. Like, yeah, it is technically true, but it's also, a grain of salt. Like, basically, hey, if it's raining, people would say it's not snowing. You're technically right, but obviously it's not snowing, it's raining. Not that type of misspeak. So you also can compare it to other games that are right now older than Dragon Age the Veilguard that are doing pretty well. Like Cyberpunk 2077 has about the same numbers of what people are playing Dragon Age the Veilguard, and Baldur's Gate 3 is basically just dwarfing it at this point. Granted, Baldur's Gate 3, I would argue, is a vastly superior game. Like, I played Baldur's Gate 3 and it was like replaying Dragon Age Origins for the first time. It is an absolutely jaw-dropping experience in its way. But it's just like a lot of things about this are seemingly lining up right now with this entire argument that Dragon Age the Veilguard isn't doing as well. Like, from them not posting, hey, we've sold 1 million sales, other older games doing way better than the game. You can even look at the Steam page. Yeah, it has mostly positive, but it only has around 16,000 reviews, which the mostly positive rating is good, but there's something that's a little weird. Like, there's no overall review. Like, let's look at Silent Hill. Like this, they usually have this, like, all reviews overwhelmingly positive for Silent Hill 2, but for this they don't have that. I wonder why. If you know why, tell me in the comments below. It's a little weird. Like, I would assume they have that, but yeah, it seems that it's very concerning for Dragon Age the Veilguard. Also, like, I did make an argument about this in my live stream. Someone came onto my stream saying that, hey, it's problematic that they're not releasing DLC. I made the argument that DLC is usually announced before the game is launching, like with Marvel Spider-Man, where they would convey, hey, we have a season pass and all that. But then when I looked into it, I was like, wait a minute. Every Dragon Age game that released before the Veilguard had DLC, specifically story-based DLC. Dragon Age Origins had it. Awakening was technically an expansion to Dragon Age Origins. It wasn't the full release. Dragon Age 2 had DLCs. Dragon Age Inquisition had several pieces of DLC. Even Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 all had DLC. Andromeda, well, technically it had added content, but it didn't have any DLC because the game flopped hard, which is indicator that this game is not doing as well as that game too, because Mass Effect Andromeda actually did very well commercially, just critically it didn't do well. So it's very concerning with this. So maybe the game isn't performing as well as everyone keeps saying, because again, based on all the reviews, based on what all critics are saying, like, this is one of the best games to come out this year. Heck, in the last 10 years, it's like one of the greatest games of this generation. Maybe I'm playing a different version of Dragon Age, or maybe I'm completely just looking at this at rose-colored glasses, because, as I stated, I replayed all the other Dragon Age games, and playing this, I just feel like it's not a return to form. It's actually going backwards in a lot of ways. There are some things that are nice, like I guess the graphics look great. Like, you can see individual hairs, the Blight looks cool, the dragons look cool, but everything about the other parts of the game, like, I don't even find the characters compelling. Like, in Dragon Age Origins, you can literally kick people out of your group if you didn't like them, or they would actually kill you if you did something so extreme that they wanted you dead, or they would just flat out leave you. You didn't even need to kick them out. They would just flat out leave you. And in Dragon Age 2, they'll do the same thing in the final act of the game. Depending on your affinity with the characters, they would either fight against you, betray you, or even fight for you despite their best interests. Like Fenris, for example, hates mages, and if his alignment with you is strong enough, he'll actually say, hey, I will fight against you. He'll join Meredith, but during the final part of that battle, he'll say, hey, he's my friend, I'm going to join him. I may be fighting with mages, but I'm going to fight with Hawk. I have yet to see anything to that same level of caliber in this game. It's just so really safe. But tell me what you think in the comments below. Are you playing Dragon Age the Veilguard? Are you liking it? I love to hear other people's opinions, but we'll see how things go right now, because right now, it does not look good. So that's it from me. Bye.